All right, good afternoon, East Hampton Town ARB. Sorry for the delay. We're live on channel 22. We're streaming to YouTube. Phone lines are not open for this meeting. The meeting is being recorded and you may begin.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the September 25th meeting of the East Hampton Town Architectural Review Board. Chairman Ray is away and our alternate board member, Peter Bickford, is sitting in. We originally had 6 applications today. One of them has been postponed administratively, so we're going to be looking at 5 applications today. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of September 11th meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Our first application is in fences, walls, gates, and berms. It's Suffolk County Tax Map 300-194-1-2950 Wireless Road. And this is Claris.
Thank you. So this application was previously presented to the board at the August 14th meeting. The applicant is requesting the approval to construct an automated driveway gate. The property is located in quiet neighborhood of Cove Hollow Road. During my site visit, I observed only 3 other gates on the street. So the proposed gate will span 14 feet 3 inches. The prior proposal placed the gate 5 feet from the property line with the keypad located over 7 feet beyond the property line. This revised proposal moves the gate slightly back to 5 feet 7/8 inches from the property line with the keypad now located inside the property and recessed within the landscaping. The design features 7-inch black steel post with decorative cap on either side and 1-inch picket spaced 8 inches apart from the center, all constructed from the black steel. This is the picture of what you can see of the main road. So the gate would be pretty much sitting slightly behind the bushes that you can see on the picture. Well, if you can please go to the drawings. So the applicant has provided us with 2 options, option A and option B. The option A will show the gate at the 6 foot high. Option B will show the gate at the 5 feet 8 inches. So first we see the position of the gate, the columns, the keypad. We can go to the next page, please. So this is the option 8, which on the right side you can see this one is the 6 foot tall post. This one is slightly shorter, 5 feet 8 inches. Do we have anybody here to speak on behalf?
Yes, my name is Joseph Pino, here to represent Mr. Nardini. Yes, so as you said, in version A, we're showing a 6-foot post with a 5'4" gate, which is raised off the ground 4 inches and is 4 inches below the top of the post. Again, as we were here last time, you had requested that we keep the gate below 6 feet, and actually requesting 5 feet, which I have showed in option B. And after having conversations with my client, we figured we would put a second option in there if we could possibly go a little higher. We are below the 6 feet, as you mentioned. With the photo, we've seen that the gate will be beyond the bushes.
Correct.
So it'll be somewhat set back. You know, our reason for asking for a little bit higher gate is just to get that sense of security. I was actually at a property today, and they had a gate. It wasn't right on the main road. It was off into a driveway. So they had their gate, you know, it was up above 6 feet. And I get it was high. I get what you're asking for. You know, the overall gate was about 5'8", and it stood about 7 or 8 inches above the ground. And it was amazing. I was there today because I was coming here for this. And I said, you know, I get what you're looking for, you know, to keep these lower. So, you know, we have done that. And again, we would like to go a little high. You know, I'm an average height person. I'm at 5'8". And which would leave the top of our gate at that height. And the reason to ask for this height, you know, is to keep that gate above somebody's eye level. Not quite at that 6-foot level, but above that average person's eye level, to dissuade them from thinking, you know, I mean, if you could look over a gate, maybe you think you can climb over that gate. So that's, we are presenting two heights here, and we would love to get a little higher.
Okay, thank you.
A question, if this is for security, are you worried about someone like breaking into the property? Can't you just walk through the hedge?
Yes, they could, but it's just a deterrent. It's that deterrent to keep people from entering the property. You know, we may possibly, we may put another bush on the side, you know, those arborvitae bushes on the side of that to close that space on the side.
So there is a fence sneaking between the bushes, the wire fence.
Yeah, I mean, my concern about the sort of the logic behind this is that it's like, I don't want to use a prison analogy, but it's like, you know, you're setting up a fortress, and this is not a very dangerous town. You know, we don't have like roaming criminals around on the street. So, you know, I mean, there has been some, I realize, like one-off thefts of automobiles, which could be deterred with a 4-foot gate. That's my thought about this. I'm curious what the rest of the board has to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in favor of trying to keep a small town characteristic to the streetscape. I realize this is having, you know, pushed back to the at least 20 feet off of the pavement and behind those bushes. That helps keep this off that primary line of street frontage. But it's also, you know, we're trying to, as I don't know if you know, you didn't mention specifically about the, you know, the code application of the intent being that we keep openness and views through. Now, you know, I don't know, I don't really buy the can't jump over issue either, because you can, if you can't see over it, you can, but you've got 8-inch spacing, so you're seeing right through it anyway. So
No, we get that too, and that's, you know, part of the design is to have it as an open, free. It's not a big cumbersome gate.
You know, and I appreciate that. I mean, even black is less, you know, your tendency is to see through that more than a white plane of surface.
And again, we do want to see through. We want it to, you know, we want to see the house beyond it, but it's more of just it's a deterrent. It's a deterrent, and
yeah, I mean, the board has the discretion to approve up to 6 feet. As you know, obviously 4 foot is as of right, and you wouldn't be talking to us. The dimension that you're looking at here is not the 5-foot gate; it's the 5'4" on this option, and the 5'8" above grade on the other option. So the actual gate, I mean, I think the posts are behind the hedges enough. So you're really looking at a plane of this black grade being 5'8" above grade or 5'4" above grade. Correct.
4 is plenty. Yeah.
As I said, there are not many gates on the street. It's a very quiet neighborhood as well. I know there's a gate right across the street, but it's offset way far back from the property line. So
I mean, typically our more densely populated neighborhoods, like the Amagansett Lanes and Wireless Road area, they're more village-like, and they're more even though people tend to plant them fairly heavily, the plantings are pretty soft and can do they end up being quite a wall to the public view, but that's not part of our code. Really, the gates and fences are. So I think we have to make a call on, is either one of these options going to be something that this board finds
I'm
acceptable?
going to state that I am one of 4 voting members here. I'm not willing to approve this today based on the current design. I don't think it is in keeping with the character of the neighborhood. I think the intent was here. It sounds like that black would be less obtrusive, but I think just the use of materials and the design it reads like a security fence, and this does not read like a fence that I would see in the town of East Hampton that is more, let's say, more natural in terms of its materials. And the fences and gates we see here, typically, they have a relationship architecturally with the house itself. This, as far as I can tell, doesn't have any, in terms of materials, in terms of color, doesn't have any relationship architecturally with the house itself. That's why I'm not willing to approve either option. It's not in keeping with the character of the neighborhood.
As far as the house goes, it does have it's a black stucco. It's a gray stucco with black window trim. So we brought that black, out to the gate. As far as I'm concerned, like a wrought iron rail fence, I think is very neat and clean. It's similar to what you've got outside there.
Much taller.
I just don't think it's keeping with the standards. That's all. And I usually don't. I actually don't want to say that. I'm going to leave it at that. That's all.
I think it might be helpful if you're interested in sort of getting a sense of a read of where this is going before we take an actual vote, because give you a sense of how this is coming down. I don't know. What do you guys?
I also want to add one thing, is that to me, the relationship of the street, it's too close to the street in terms of what's actually the design that's being proposed. There's the openness of the gate. The only thing that I perhaps feel receptive to is the openness of the gate, but the materials, the color, the distance, and the height of the gate, and a big part of the height of the gate is how close it is to the street, and it's very close to the street. So,
Peter?
I visited this site with Clara and Chip a few weeks ago, and I know the lane well. I agree with Frank that this doesn't fit the neighborhood. It's not a dangerous neighborhood. I don't know why we need that kind of security other than for the deer.
I agree with them.
So it sounds like you're not getting a very positive review of this of either of these options from in terms of a majority opinion. I don't know if you'd like to table this one and reconsider, or would you like us to vote on it?
At our last meeting, the design of the gate was the way it looked. The design of the gate wasn't an issue. It was the height, which we've brought down. You've said you're able to approve up to 6 feet. We've provided a couple options. Would like to keep it. The owner would like to keep it at as high as possible. This was the first we were hearing of the design of the gate not being sufficient. It was actually a comment, the gentleman that's not here today, he liked the simplicity of it, that it wasn't complicated. So that's just, and if that was the case last time, I might have changed. I don't know how much simpler we can get it. Sort of a standard Rhode Island wrought iron gate. But we'll do whatever you say. I see it as a simple, plain design and not funky and out of character. Again, we've got black trim on our house, and we've brought that black trim out to the street. I think the black and the
About 5
green
feet.
hedges go well.
Right.
But we're willing to listen to, whatever the board suggests.
Well, how about just good old 5 feet? 5 feet is somewhere in between what you can have by right and what we can approve, but we don't like to prove. So I think, your suggestions of 5'4" and 5'8", maybe if you just made it 5 feet, it would accomplish everybody's.
Above grade to the top of the gate,
Above grade to the top of
which
the
would
gate.
which would still mean your posts would be 4 inches higher. So 5'4" above grade for the posts and 5 foot to the top of the gate.
Yeah.
I think that would be more suitable for the neighborhood. Once again, I mean, I don't have anything against the design. I know you mentioned the material and the color, it matches the house to some level. But if you drive down the road, and you probably know the best the neighborhood, it's still a pretty big gate, and it's pretty close to the property line, to the street. So I think if we can go lower, as Diane and Chris said, to me, that would look much better. 5'8" is still pretty tall gate.
5'8" is right, and 5'4" is we've got a 5 foot gate. Obviously, it's got to come above the ground.
Right. It would be a 4'8" gate with a 4 foot gap underneath, which would give you 5 foot above grade, which is what the town uses to measure gate height or fence height.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like you're getting a better reception with that level. Is that something you'd be willing to entertain?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I will speak to I'll just tell the owner, I had spoke with the owner, and he was asking, we would bring it down to, below the 6 feet, and have 2 options. He wanted to have as much height as he possibly could. But if that's what you approve, and I get it, I know you want to set a limit, and
We really do, and that neighborhood is
yep,
still.
and
Still
set a
fairly
standard for
gateless.
everybody.
Yeah, it's
So
fairly gateless, that neighborhood, so.
All right. Well,
Do we need to see the revised plans, or do we?
Alex, what do you think? Do you think we should? You think we're okay if we offer an approval condition on specific dimensions?
Yeah, I think that's okay.
So I think you could make a motion based on specific dimensions, and that would carry into the resolution.
Okay. Is that, or do you need to discuss with the owner prior to our approval, or is that something I know last time you said they weren't open to go lower. So is it something that, if you want to come
no,
back?
what am I
with
going to
the-
do? If that's I feel we're close. But
It won't, it won't lock you into that. You could always come back for a modification request or any complete revision, reapplication. There are different venues you could use to modify that. But if you feel fairly confident that your client is going to be okay with that, then we could, I think it sounds as if the board feels pretty confident that we could give you an approval for something 5 foot above grade.
So in that case, I would like to make a motion to approve the application with a change to the dimensions. The top of the gate would be 4 feet 6 inches,
No, 4 feet,
4 feet 8.
I think 4 feet, or 5 feet from grade.
5 feet.
Okay, 5 feet from grade, with the exception of the steel post being 4 inches higher.
Yeah, it would maintain that detail, 4 inches
Correct.
above grade, 4 inches below the
Do we have a second?
top cap with a overall height gate of 4'8".
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Oppose.
4 to 1, motion passes. All right. The next one is the one that was administratively postponed, so we're going to move on to agricultural overlay.
Aw,
I know,
Such a
sorry.
nice, my pictures are very good.
Good pictures, that's right. This one is Suffolk County Tax Map 300-159-1-18.7. It's 19 Fieldview Lane. This is a modification to an ag overlay application. This is Frank's.
Okay, this is an application to modify a previously approved application to build a single-family residence with a pool in what was a vacant lot on Fieldview Lane in East Hampton. We're reviewing this because this property abuts an agricultural overlay that was not in it. To familiarize with the board with this application, the house is a proportionally narrow structure that runs parallel to the side yard and close to the side yard with a pool near the back of the lot line. As the house and pool are pushed to the sides of the lot in an L-shaped plan, this creates a large open space in the middle of the lot. Hence, they called it, I believe, they called this Fieldview, even though it's also the name of the street. The applicant is seeking approval for 2 modifications, which I will read from the applicant's cover letter. During the course of construction, the property owners have realized they would like to install additional pool safety fencing closer to the pool to match the approved fencing, which is wood post painted black with metal mesh, black mesh. They would also like to install a backup generator on the north side of the property compliant with the side yard setback requirements, shielded from view by both the perimeter trees and 2 rows of evergreen shrubs. In terms of the generator, so that's looking towards Fieldview Lane, towards the front of the property. The generator is behind, it's already in there. It's behind that wood wall there. Keep going, Will.
The house.
There it is. There's the generator. So it could be easily screened from the road by just adding a couple of shrubs.
Maybe, same to me.
So it'd be fully screened. And then if we could go back, I'll just show you the proposed pool, and maybe we could go over the pool. So the pool fence would run parallel to the front of the pool. I think maybe in line with the front of the pool. So what's happening is I'm standing, the grade slopes up very steeply right there and then goes down to grade, and that's where the pool gate would be, kind of dying into the side of the pool. Do we have the site plan? Okay, there you can see the generator being screened. And let's go, scroll down, you'll see there's the proposed pool gate. So I think the pool gate previously just ran around the property, and they wanted it to be closer to the pool, which I can understand. So I don't have any objection to this, but I don't know if the applicant's agent needs or wants to say anything, or you all have any comments.
I don't have any comments.
No comment.
I saw this property too. I don't know. Maybe they pulled it, actually.
Tara, could I ask a question? The fence line and the gate that are by the stairs between the spa and the pool, I'm seeing the one at the bottom of the page there, the one that attaches to the infinity edge of the pool. That's down that the grade is down there. Then you come up, and that fence, that upper fence, looks like it also connects to the pool, but isn't the pool at grade there? So what's that? What's happening there?
I can explain. So, sorry, I think I think the pool is sticking out of the ground there on that side. And so the grade, there's been some interesting like grading on this property where it goes up at the bottom and then like it's high. And then at some point, because we're not showing any contours here, I think the grading dips down, as I recall, parallel to the steps to the left there.
Okay, so there's a slope next to those steps, so it goes back down.
Right.
It's
So
because you go up those pavers on the bottom of the page, and then you're up high, and you're coming along, and there's a stair that goes down. But as Frank said, there's no grading that shows the grade going up. But that fence is low, roughly the same grade level as the other run of fence.
Yes.
both of those, I believe, would be at grade. It's been
This is
it's at natural grade.
Pretty discreet.
Yeah. And, you don't, if we can go back, Will, to the photographs of the property, this has an easement in front of it, the property. You'll just see it from the street. So it is grown in front anyway. So you're not even that's what it looks like from the street.
It's a 50-foot vegetative
The
buffer.
vegetative easement. So this is really not visible from the street.
Right. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions?
Okay. Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve. Yeah, an interesting thing about is as I understand it, the first and hopefully not the only project where the roof tiles on the upper roof are solar panels. So they're like architectural shingles, but they're actually solar panels. It's interesting. Yeah. So I'd like to make a modification I'd like to make a motion to approve the application as presented. Do I have a second?
Second. Oh,
All in favor?
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Suffolk County Tax Map 300-63-2-14.52, still in agricultural overlay, 27 Talmadge Farm Lane, and this is mine. Let's see.
Denny's Bob.
Yes, exactly. This is an application to approve an existing enclosure fencing and a chicken coop as built and as approved by the planning board on 5/21/25. Apparently they had built this chicken coop and fencing and it was realized through some of the covenants of the property that it had to go for planning approval as a site plan. So that's done. It was approved in May. The property is about 2.5 acres fronting Talmadge Farm Lane, accessed from a long driveway off Springs Fireplace Road. There's an existing single-family home as well as approved deer fencing around the large and beautifully maintained property. The small chicken coop and enclosure fence is sensitively sited, well-maintained, with raised bed gardens adjacent. It seems incredibly appropriate for this agricultural area. Completely. I mean, if you stop on Talmadge Road Lane as I did and try to look through, you sort of get a little bit of a glimpse of it, not even worth trying to photograph. So, that's the fencing along Talmadge Front Lane, Talmadge Farm Lane. But there's no vehicular access without opening some gates there and stuff. So this is the enclosure. It's agricultural fencing around the raised bed garden.
Weeds.
No, lots of mulch, lots of nice pavers. That's the chicken coop and the chicken enclosure there. And yeah,
It's all very authentic.
yeah, very, very straightforward chicken coop with a chicken run right next to it that's fully enclosed. There are the girls. So I really don't have any questions for the applicant. It seems very straightforward. Anybody else have any thoughts?
No, I get it.
All right, well, like to make a motion to approve this application as submitted.
Second.
All opposed? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion carries unanimously. And,
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you as well.
all right, go girls.
Remembered it was a COVID project.
Ah, that was,
Realized needed so many approvals.
oh, I know, it can be tedious, but well worth it. This is a great use of your property.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Right. Let's see, that's our agricultural overlays. Now in certificate of occupancy inspections, we've got Suffolk County Tax Map 300-200-2-24.8, 104 Wainscott Main Street. And I'll present this one. This was an application that we approved for a 6-foot driveway gate. This is way down a shared driveway off Wainscott Main Street. At the very end, a straight shot. You can see it if you stop there, but it's very far down there. It's built as drawn. Cedar fence, 6 feet tall at the end of the driveway. The shared part of the driveway veers off just before that to another property, and this photograph is taken from inside the property, looking out. So that is, we could take a look at the LaGuardia design drawings of that. But this is then that black fencing is the enclosure for the generator, and this was not built as per our resolution, as per our approved resolution. This was drawn and presented as a 4-foot stockade enclosure, painted or stained black with a vegetative screening. What they've done here is given a 6-foot stockade, and if you keep going around to the other photos, you can see that it's only a two-sided screening of the generator as opposed to a full enclosure. So it's 6 feet tall. It's not fully enclosed, and it's not heavily vegetatively screened along the front as the site plan had indicated. So I don't know if we can really approve this as conforming. I don't necessarily have much problem with it. I wish they'd given it a fresh coat of paint or stain, because it looks like some of the spare stockade panels were sitting on top of it, and they've kind of ghosted the image of it. It looks pretty scruffy there.
can you see it from anywhere?
No, only on the property. So it's, as I said, it's not that I would. I think the board probably would have not had a huge problem with this as a two-sided screening, because there's fencing behind it as well. That black stockade fence runs around the property. There's vegetation behind it, heavy vegetation up against the adjacent property. This a 4-foot fence probably would not have screened this. I think they underestimated the size of the generator.
Huge.
Yeah, it's a big house with looks like a full house generator. So, but unfortunately, I don't know if we can just go ahead and say, yeah, this is approved, because they're really not applying for this. They're applying for, having conformed to our resolution, and I just wonder if we have to ask them to come back for a modification before we can get sign off that it's built in accordance with, so that the building department can go. Building department may not have any problem with this.
I don't know.
All
What
the
does our
building
lawyer
department
think?
needs is basically that we've checked the box.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whether it meets their codes and standards is a different issue, but in terms of the ARB approval, they would need our approval prior to coming out for CO.
Yeah.
Is this property fully fenced in?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it reads like a flag lot, even though that's actually a shared driveway. Can you show the site plan, Will? Let's see.
I mean, as a general comment also, this doesn't seem to have the sort of care and design that I would normally expect from a LaGuardia design project.
Yeah, it looks like they realized that they needed to get their C of O and put this up, with material on hand or something. But
So
here you
what's-
can see the house, the driveway that leads to it, the long shared driveway is up, goes up to Wainscott Main Street at the top of the page, and the generator is right there in the corner there. So there's a property in front of that generator. This is what was presented and approved. There's a full enclosure with that orange colored. I don't know what kind of trees those were or shrubs, but that was sort of a heavy screening in front of it to hide that. So, not that anybody else is seeing it except for the inhabitants of the house. So, you can see that fence line along the left of that goes vertically on the page there is the 6-foot-high stockade fencing, which is stained black. So just I don't know if we I don't think we can give a sort of partial, like the gate conforms and this doesn't conform. The reading of what we're supposed to read when things do conform is, let's see, it looks like, that it satisfied the conditions and substantially conforms to the ARB approval. So, I don't know. Alex, what do you think?
I think we can, if you would like to approve it, we can, and then we can modify the prior approval.
Can you go back to the photos? So is the house to the right?
The house is far off to the right, yeah.
But you can clearly see this from the house. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
That's
So
what we
that
see.
is visible from this
Yeah.
basically a state house.
Yep,
It's just kind of bizarre as a comment.
it is.
Yeah, where's that, all that?
Where's
that
the
vegetation
care
makes a
here?
big difference.
Yeah, the vegetation that they've chosen is to carry on the meadow grass that has walkways, mowed through it.
I mean, based on the survey, this is when you get out of your car, you're looking right, you look at the house and you turn around and you see that.
Yes.
This is bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's inverted stockade so that the pointy tips are facing down, but because they've obviously laid some fencing up against it or on top of it, laying it flat before they put it up, that ghosted image is of pointy tops
Yeah.
of a different, just as if they, laid some stockade fencing down and kind of sprayed and missed some of it or something. I don't know. It's a strange presentation when everything else is, meticulously made. The gate is well crafted. The fencing around the perimeter seems, nice and clean and crisp edged. I think from that distance of the house, if this were painted, or stained with the same level of care, you might not even see it as that much difference. It's that far away from the house that you might see it blending with the black fencing that's beyond. But it's just
Is it temporary?
it looks
Like
it looks awfully temporary. Like, well,
Didn't they just put something up to?
then maybe they I don't know. The applicant's not here to ask about it, but we're not. We'd like to think that this is a temporary thing, that they're going to stain over it, but I don't know.
We should find out.
I mean,
It's sort of arty looking.
You could live with it.
I mean,
looks like somebody put like a tally on it, counted to 5 and put a cross across the 5th one. It's a strange. it's jarring on that property because everything else is very carefully made and done. And again, it's not something that's visible to the public. It's visible to the homeowners and their guests. Yeah, so I think we either approve it with somehow an approval after the fact of the amended layout, or we ask them to come back and either make a modification or make a case to us that this should be left to stand, because obviously the 4-foot fence wouldn't screen the generator.
No. So maybe we just need a clarification.
Yeah.
You know?
So, unfortunately, nobody's here for the applicant to see whether they want to pull this one back. So, I've actually never had this kind of situation happen where the C of O is not in conformance. So I don't know if, especially without the applicant.
Conform.
But I don't know if we.
And we're trying to make a determination of whether the owners would like it or not. That's not.
But I don't know if that means we vote or whether we table this, and what the mechanism is for that.
Yeah,
I think it's up to you. We can approve it and modify the.
I don't know. It's a C of O. I wouldn't approve it.
Yeah, I mean, it might be the last time that the house has been approved. This is the landscape component. It's the last part of it. So I guess if we want to get some clarification on it, it's just a question of whether we vote that this is not ready and let them know in a letter, and that they need to either substantially conform or come back to us with a modification, and then once that modification is approved, we get some clarification of it, then they can come back for the C of O.
I think if Julie were here, she would say, we provide them a letter saying it doesn't conform to the CO. If they would like to come back and ask us to modify the resolution, please.
So in other words, we should label this incomplete.
That's my understanding.
That's what she usually does with a letter of incomplete.
Yeah, I think so too.
So let's do that and not bring that to a vote. And that, my friends, is that. I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting.
What about the?
Oh wait, is there another one?
Yeah.
Gosh, jumping the gun.
Healthcare
All
Foundation.
right. Let's see. That's why I had to scroll down to it. So we're now on the last item, Suffolk County Tax Map 300-188-1-8.3, 200 Pantago Place, East Hampton Healthcare Foundation, and I'll present this one as well. This one, this is a project that dates back a little ways. We gave, the board gave an approval for this. Let's see, it was back in 2022, 9/15/2022 resolution. What they got approval to do was replace a fence with 165 foot of split rail fence, which you're seeing here. That's along the southern edge of the property, facing the parking lot behind Carissa and Smoking Wolf. To also install 11 gooseneck parking lot lights, for no parking signs. This is actually, I don't know if this particular no parking sign is actually theirs, because this is standing on the Carissa Smoking Wolf property because it's really right up there. They did get approval for no more than 4 no parking signs, but the 4 signs are actually adjacent to the wheelchair accessible parking spaces. So
And nobody
this-
pays
this-
any attention.
yeah, this might have just been put up by the neighbors, like, hey, don't park here because, but
Yeah, I know.
it's
Are
not
they
that-
real parking? No park, because nobody pays any attention to them.
Yeah, well, somebody's, obviously not paying attention. But
No,
that's
never.
that's off the subject property anyway.
That's
So they do have the 4 no parking signs adjacent to the building. They've also got these very, very low path lights that are along the pathway and parallel to the building frontage, help light the walkway. It's a very straightforward project that was built exactly as they request. There are 11 of these parking lot lights that were the same fixture that was approved. Everything is pretty much there. So, no, I guess nobody has anything to say about it. I will make a motion to instruct staff to notify the building department that this applicant has satisfied the conditions and substantially conforms to the ARB approval in the 9/15/22 resolution, and a C of O can be issued.
Okay.
Wait, are we going to vote? Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, so now
Now,
that means I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
4:47.
That's the end.
Wow.
End